Thank you.
Hello and welcome. Globalization has broadened our horizons. It's redefined our markets, changed our strategies, reshaped entire industries, and significantly transformed our workforces. What was once our backyard sandbox expanded to a beach and then on to a continental coastline. This is our VUCA world in which we live today. Globalization is the path that we have taken to today's reality. The road is not new, and some organizations have thrived on the opportunities that this globalized environment has offered. Others, however, have not fared so well, and I think of Kodak, Polaroid, Blockbuster. In this increasingly demanding world, we need adaptive, resilient, and agile organizations to transform themselves. For this, we need adaptive, resilient, and agile leaders to perform at their best and who continue to develop and to learn. Learning is fundamental in with today's executives to help them become tomorrow's global leaders. And this learning needs to happen at 3 levels. Executives need to learn more about the world, they need to learn more about business, and they need to learn more about themselves. Traditional business education has been one-dimensional, focused primarily on teaching business fundamentals. And it's clear that this approach is insufficient and falls short of the mark in today's global environment. So to learn more about the world, one needs to go out into the world, to explore and experience diverse cultures, socio-political, and business environments. This does not happen in the classroom. To learn more about themselves, it's critical for executives to develop a greater awareness of their biases, of their perspectives, their belief sets, and most importantly, the impact their behavior triggers on others at the individual and at the team and at the organizational level. This is not the stuff that can be learned in textbooks. Learning cannot happen in a homogeneous environment with a group of students looking through a single cultural lens. Nissan CEO Carl Gossen speaks to this when he says, leaders of the future will need to have a lot more empathy and sensitivity, not just for people from their own countries, but also for people from different countries and cultures. They are going to need global empathy, he says, which is a lot more difficult. So to experience the world beyond the classroom and build self-awareness without books means that learning needs to be experiential. It needs to go beyond the cerebral academic environment and plunge executives into an integrative, challenging experience. As a part of our EMBA program Discovery Expeditions, we travel with our participants to Silicon Valley, to China, to Brazil, to India, and to Vietnam. Our participants meet with locals, business leaders, politicians, social institutions, and are immersed in the local culture, where they taste, explore, debate, experience, and integrate into the environment, where their personal perspectives are constantly challenged and they may very well find themselves out of their personal comfort zone. This is a very, very different experience from business school industrial tourism, where a study group is transported from one campus in one country to a campus in another. And it needs to happen through a multi-lens perspective. Cross-cultural learning environments, interactive methodologies, and perhaps most importantly, a highly diverse group of learning partners to challenge, debate, and explore with. There is nothing like a study group discussion with a Japanese, a Russian, a German, a Croatian, an Australian, and a Spaniard to challenge your perspective of the world, or, needless to say, a solution to a business problem. In fact, if you've noticed as you get older, the more you're right. And the more senior you get, the more highly you regarded you are and assumed to be right. It's a love fest of sorts, and you often run the risk of being lied to. And as this happens, one starts to see the information around them as confirmatory evidence of their righteousness, of their correctness, of their point of view. With a multi-lens perspective, we encourage executives to ask themselves, where is the kernel of insight? And to apply the principle of charity, which says, under which context would a reasonable person see this as valid? And it may not be my own. So I believe that experiential learning will become increasingly relevant in the education sphere to support learning at the global, at the business, and at the individual levels. Traditional business schools need to evolve beyond the brick and mortar education model to a more dynamic and integrative learning experience to build the capabilities for more adaptive, resilient, and agile leaders. We have an extremely rich and diverse program that lies ahead of us, with an impressive lineup of executives and experts on a broad range of topics. On behalf of IMD, I'd like to welcome you and look forward to sharing this unique learning adventure with you. And I encourage you, as you go through this conference, to seek out the discomforting evidence. Thank you.